Welcome back to Crypto Unlocked. I'm your host, Crypto Daryl. And when it comes to crypto markets, most people only see the surface. They see Bitcoin dominant, Ethereum builds a DeFi empire, and meme coins going parabolic overnight. They see influencers pumping whatever shiny new token is trending on Twitter, and they get caught up in that noise. But beneath the surface, there are projects quietly building the future of finance. Projects that aren't just chasing hype, but solving real-world problems in multi-trillion-dollar markets. One of those projects is XDC, the XDC Network, and while most retail traders barely know its name, those who've done their homework understand it's not just another altcoin, it's a sleeping giant. And like all sleeping giants in crypto history, when it finally wakes up, the move could shock the entire market. Now let's be clear, crypto runs in cycles. Bitcoin leads, Ethereum follows, then large caps run, and finally the floodgates are open for everyone else, calling it for alt season. During that time, coins you barely hear about suddenly rip 5, 10x, even 20x because the market finally realizes potential that's been sitting under its nose the whole time. And if you've studied these cycles, you know exactly the kind of project that tends to explode. When the rotation hits, low hype, strong fundamentals, massive real-world use cases, that's the definition of XDC. So let's break this down. What makes XDC so special? First, utility. Most altcoins claim they're solving a problem, but very few are actually tackling an industry that matters at scale. The XDC network is designed specifically for global trade finance. That might sound like a boring buzzword, but let me break it down. Global trade is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Every day, trillions of dollars in goods and services move across borders. Most of it still runs on outdated paper-based systems. Banks and financial institutions still rely on slow, inefficient processes that cost time and money. It's a system screaming for innovation, and that's where XDC comes in. The network is built to digitize trade finance, to replace paper with blockchain, and to connect traditional finance with the speed, efficiency, and the security of decentralized technology. This isn't just about transactions on a blockchain. It's about being the backbone for global trade, how it operates in the digital age. That's not just hype, that's reality. Second, let's talk about compliance. XDC is ISO 2022 compliant. For those who don't know, ISO is the global messaging standard for the financial institutions. It's the new language of payments. Banks all over the world will be moving onto this standard. Out of the thousands of crypto projects out there, only a handful can say they're actually compliant. XDC is definitely one of them. That means it's positioned to actually integrate into the new financial system, not just exist on the outside of it. When you think about which blockchains will survive long term, you have to look at which ones are playing by the rules of the global finance. XDC is one of the few and one of the rare that's huge. Now let's talk about tokenomics. XDC operates on a delegated proof of stake model that makes it energy efficient and scalable, but is also incentives for long-term holders through staking. The more people stake, the less supply there is on exchanges, and when altcoin seasons come, supply shocks are everything. Simple economics. When the demand spikes and supply is thin, price moves violently. And because it's circulating supply is more favorable than many bloated projects, the potential upside is amplified compared to the coins that have massive inflation or endless token unlocks. XDC looks lean and ready to run. But tokenomics and compliance alone don't create a sleeping giant. Partnerships do. And this is where XDC separates itself. The XDC network isn't just focused on meme hype or retail shilling. It's been building connections with real institutions. One of the most important alliances is with the Trade Finance Distribution Initiative, or the TFDI. This initiative brings together major banks and financial institutions to digitize trade finance. And guess what? XDC is the blockchain layer powering it. That means XDC isn't just a speculative coin, it's becoming the infrastructure for institutions that actually move trillions of dollars. Now imagine being integrated into the plumbing of global trade. That's not some far off dream, that's happening right now. And here's the kicker. While all of this is happening, the retail crowd is still sleeping on XDC. It's not front and center on the influencer circuit. It doesn't trend on TikTok every other week. And that's exactly why it's so undervalued. The smart money knows alt season isn't about chasing what's already pumped. It's about identifying the projects with strong fundamentals that haven't moved yet. It's about catching the rotation before it happens. And XDC is the perfect candidate. Look back on history. Every bull cycle, there are projects that grind sideways for months, sometimes years. Everyone ignores them. Then out of nowhere, when liquidity rotates, they explode. Think about how Chainlink suddenly went parabolic in 2019. Think about VeChain in 2021 or XRP in 2017. They all had one thing in common. They had real world narratives, but they weren't hyped until the cycle forced attention their way. That's XDC's story. It's lining up for it right now. Now let's take a zoom out though. Think about the macro environment we're heading into, a world where blockchain isn't just speculation anymore. Governments are rolling out CBDCs. Banks are adopting blockchain-based settlement systems. Institutions are finally embracing tokenization. That means the project positioned for real-world integration will lead the next wave. XDC's focus on trade finance is ISO compliance, and its partnerships puts it directly into the path of institutional adoption. We're talking about one of the few networks that isn't just another crypto project. It's building the rails for real money. And here's what most people miss. Trade finance is a massive but invisible industry. The average crypto trader doesn't think about how goods move from one country to another. They don't think about letters of credit, invoice factoring, or supply chain financing, but those are multi-trillion-dollar problems that blockchain can solve. And XDC is literally one of the only projects doing it at scale. When that narrative clicks with the retail market, when the influencers finally catch on, XDC won't just be another altcoin. It'll be the project that everyone wishes they bought before the pump. Now, XDC is still sitting at a market cap that's tiny compared to its potential. It's not even scratching the surface of where it could be if the trade finance narrative takes off. Imagine a project integrated with banks, compliant with ISO standards, plugged into trillion-dollar flows, and yet trading like a forgotten altcoin. That's not just undervalued, that's opportunity. And when alt season brings in the new liquidity, projects like this are the ones that make the biggest moves because the market suddenly realizes how underpriced they were. And here's another important point. Every alt season, people chase hype coins that promise the world but deliver nothing. They chase pump and dumps, they get wrecked, and then complain the system is rigged. But the real winners, those who actually build generational wealth, are the ones who are identifying the fundamentals early. The ones who accumulate when no one's paying attention. That's how smart money operates. And right now, smart money is looking at XDC like that's something to eat. Here's the bottom line though. XDC is a sleeping giant. It has fundamentals, it has partnerships, it's compliant, it has the tokenomics, it has the real world use cases that actually work with the world's needs. And yet the market still treats it like it's afterthought. That's exactly the setup you want heading into a alt season. Because when the floodgates open on liquidity, when the retail comes back in and when the narratives start firing on all cylinders, XDC won't just be another coin on the list. It could be one of the biggest winners of the cycle. The truth is, not everyone will see it. Most people won't believe it until the candles already move to green. Most people will ignore it, and most people will buy it 5 times higher than it currently is. But those who understand how cycles work, those who understand real-world assets and real-world adoption, those who understand how undervalued the network is right now, they're the ones who stand to benefit the most. XDC is one of those rare opportunities where the fundamentals line up with the timing of the market, and when those two forces collide, you get fireworks, baby. So as you watch the altcoin season approach, remember this: the biggest winners aren't always the loudest. They're the quiet builders, the ones focused on real-world adoption, the ones solving trillion-dollar problems while the market chases distractions. That's XDC, a sleeping giant, waiting for its moment. And when it's up, you're gonna wish you were holding it from the beginning. I appreciate you guys and have a good day.